Hi there. My name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text. We time to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the 6th Sunday of Easter, and we're looking at either the second reading, which is out of Revelation, or the gospel lesson, which is out of John. Now, the one out of Revelation has to do with the light coming from the center of the city. The light comes from the Lamb, and that there isn't need for sun. There isn't need for light outwards. It shines from the center of the city, and that's where the light and where we find the light. And what a wonderful image that is. We all have people that we run into that they just seem to glow. That they're just that people you want to be around because it's just a glow and a joy, and I like that image. And that Jesus can be our light, that the light that we as followers of Christ can show the world. It reminds me of the last week's gospel lesson, and they'll know that we are Christians by our love. They'll know that we're followers of Christ. And that pulls in that the Lamb is the light, and from that throne flows the light of God. So the items I'm using are either a flashlight, talking about different ways that we can shine light. The flashlight. I also have, it's called the emotion wand. I like that, the emotion wand. But the emoji, where we've got the light that shines. I can't do the dark, but it is glowing. I just cracked it. So we've got the light. And this is the thing I like about the glow sticks. And I've used this years ago. I used this in a children's sermon. That the glow and the light comes from when you crack the wand, and there's just a tie into the wounds of Jesus and the cross and then the resurrection, that in that whole thing is the Lamb, where the Lamb washes the robes with the blood of the Lamb and becomes as bright and as clean as can be. And so there's this image of that. So using this, or some other item that glows in the dark, but something that contains the light. Could be a night light, could be something, but then to talk about this light that is Jesus and that lives also in you and me. When we are gathered, we become the body of Christ. So that's one direction, using the second reading, Revelation. The other is out of John, and I'm really looking at this idea of peace. In that text, we have the mention of peace. And so I'm really looking at how we share the peace, different ways. Peace, man. I've got from oldlutheran.com, I've got one of those foam fingers that's peace. Peace, dude. All right, wait. Oh, no, that's, so anyway, ridiculous. But looking at what are some of the ways that we greet one another. Howdy, hi, how you doing? Give me some skin, put it here, give me 5, up high, down low, too slow. All those kind of things. How we greet one another. There's the secret handshakes and there's the not so secret handshakes. There, and all those kind of fun things where that we greet one another and when we share the peace. Now when we share the peace in church, there's something special that happens there. We do that for a reason. When we come together and we get right with one another, sharing the peace with one another before we go to the table, before we take the meal. And there's just a special happening. And it can be just saying hi to one another. It can be saying, there's all these things. But when we share the peace, God is there, and there's a gift that's full of joy. So there's just something there. So those are the two springboards, looking at different ways that we greet one another and how do we share the peace, how do we share our joy with one another. And it could be the tie-in that as we are full of the light of Christ and as we shine to the world, how do we let each other know, and how do we share the peace with one another, with our neighbors, with the stranger? How do we share the peace with those we have thought as our enemy, but God calls us to be in relationship with them? So lots of different things, lots of ups and downs in this one, but I hope it can be a springboard for you in your own thinking around your children's sermon. And as always, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.